So, I'll start. My name is John Hosford. I've been asked here by your professor, it's the second time we've met, to go over one easy way to evaluate resources that you find in the library or even Google Scholar. And then I'm going to, which is the CRAP method. And then I'd also like to go over quickly the fact, sort of tie in the fact that we're all pretty good researchers. We may not think of that in association with what we do in the library, but we all are pretty good searchers in general. And then quickly we'll do a little hands-on exercise with checking off using limiters in Summon, which is our catalog, or access to the catalog at the library. So CRAP stands for Currency, Relevance, Authority, and Purpose. Sometimes you see CRAP with an extra A, and I believe that stands for accuracy. But we're not going to use the accuracy for this purpose. So thinking about these words without too much definition, the idea that currency, relevance, and authority and purpose relate to your research assignments for this class in finding journal articles and books for a research paper. I'd like to just sort of tie it into how we generally search for things, say, online, or whether you go shopping, or whether even listening to a story from a friend, say, talking about what they did after the party last night, thinking about how you take in information, how you find out whether it's relevant to what you're doing, that kind of thing. And so we're using this all the time. We're sort of accessing this information and sort of putting it through the CRAP method in one way, or one shape, way, or form. And I'd like to use the example of shoes. If you go shoe shopping, you probably don't go into the store looking for a pair of the sneakers and come out with the high heels, so that you are evaluating shoes in a very similar way you could evaluate material for your paper. Can anybody think of other examples besides shoes that you might use when evaluating something that you're searching for? Cars, yes. Say shopping for books on Amazon,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
I'm just trying to choose a book to borrow from the library.
Right, yeah. Food shopping, you might go into the store and want a particular meal, you want to prepare a particular meal, or going to a restaurant, you might use Yelp or another resource to find that restaurant in a city. But the shoes ties in to the research paper that you were working on, in that the sneakers and the high heel platform shoes have two different uses. So you could look at relevance, that ties in with relevance. These have been around, the Converse have been around since 1917 in one way or shape or another, and so that might have to do with authority, that they're a sneaker that's been around a long time. Currency, again, are you going to party with your high heel platforms, or are you going to Williamsburg, Brooklyn with your Converse All-Stars? In reference to the work that you're going to be doing for your paper, currency specifically relates to when was the information published. So looking at the Summon database, when we look at that worksheet later, we can look and see, can we determine when the information was published? And this is important in many respects to the paper that you're writing, that you may want it from a certain time frame. You might not want to have a journal article, say, out of a JSTOR from 1890, but you might want something more current. Relevance. Again, how does this information relate to your research topic? What kind of resource is it? Can you determine on Summon how what form the resource takes? Is it a book, article? Is it a review, which are probably less important to the paper that you're writing? Can you determine that in the Summon catalog? authority, who is the author? Are the author's credentials and affiliations given? Is the journal article peer-reviewed, or is it a popular article? And again, all these will not have the same weight. You'll have to determine that based on your assignment. And then the purpose. Why was the information created? Why was the article written? Can you, again, determine that? And again, how I like to think of this is that you're doing this on a daily basis. With the shoe example, you're making those decisions fairly quickly. You don't, well, you could, I guess, go in shoe shopping, walk in, looking for the sneakers, but come out with the high heels. It could depend on whether they're on sale or something, or future use. But you are making those decisions fairly quickly, and I want to sort of relate that to how you use the summon interface with the library, that you can make those and look at that summon interface and very quickly determine, is this a peer-reviewed journal article, or is it something from a popular magazine? Is it a book? Is it a book that you actually have in the library that you can put your hands on? So those decisions can happen fairly quickly. So now I would like to hand out some examples that you can work on in pairs with. And using the highlighters, you'll go through, there's 2 activities. And again, you can work in pairs or 3. And just highlight activity 1 as you look at a couple examples from Summon. So that if you can actually just unstaple the second sheet there. And so what I want you to do is let me just jump to the assignment that you were given in the beginning of class was to write a 3-page paper. It's up here on the board. To write a 3-page paper on a contemporary artist, the work of art that you're going to be focusing on. It was created within the last 10 years. And you will include references to 2 books and 2 scholarly articles. So looking at that first sheet, use your highlighters and check off the relevant information using some of the terms from the CRAP method. That is it appropriate for this assignment? And your topic, just for this class, for this example, is you've chosen the artist to look at as Kiki Smith. So let's just take a minute or 2 and go over the first 2 sheets. There's a double-sided sheet. Both those are to be evaluated for the assignment. And if you have any questions, please ask. And you can just quickly highlight information on the sheets that would either show that this is a relevant article or a relevant book, or maybe it's irrelevant to the topic at hand.
We're looking at examples 1 and 2, or
1 and 2, yep.
Okay.
So can anybody, just with looking at example 1, can anybody using the CRAP method say whether that would be, any portion of the CRAP method, whether that would be a good item to use for your paper or not?
Well, it's 98,
Yep, so that might be, push it out a little bit, but is anything else, would anything be a positive there? Or?
It's a book.
It's a book, so that works. So could anybody tell me, would they use this or not use it, say, for their paper, based on the things that you see on that sheet? Probably wouldn't.
Kiki Smith, one of the authors of this book as well?
I believe she is.
Well, she would probably know it better herself.
That's true, yep. Yeah, so I guess just looking at the criteria for the paper that it's the 10-year time frame, I would sort of maybe push it a little bit that it would be outside that. But it might be great background information to look at. And it is something that we have in the library. Looking at example 2, did anybody have any thoughts on whether that would be a valid article to use?
You didn't want a 2-minute warning, right?
No.
I covered my phone on my tablet, sorry.
Any thoughts on the article, example 2? When was the 2-minute warning?
Oh, there wasn't one. No, I covered
Oh.
it with your hand out. That's what. Oh, crap. Speaking of crap.
Any thoughts on example 2? Crap. Spelled with one A. Any thoughts on example 2?
By university crap.
That's true, yep, by a university press, so that's a plus. Most likely peer-reviewed.
That's right. It's within the time frame, and it's a journal article, and it's probably scholarly, but we used up all your time.
No. So I would say yes on example 2. At least something to look at and maybe read the abstract. And then the last sheet you can do by yourselves, which offers you a way to limit the search and summon so that you can get the specific peer-reviewed and books in one search. Thanks.